more for you, you feel it. You know it. This is your life, and it's time to go from contender to champion. This is The Show with John Madsen.
Welcome back to The Show, everybody. I'm your host, John Madsen. This is The Show. Couldn't be more excited to be here with you today, whether you are listening to this during your workout, on a walk, driving down the street. I appreciate your support. I truly do. The show has been growing wildly over the past month, and it's all because of you guys. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for going to iTunes. If you haven't done so already, please go to iTunes and leave a 5-star review. If you think this show is worthy, tag me on Instagram, John Madsen Official. If one of the shows resonate with you, send a screenshot. And if you want me to talk about something else, please bring it to my attention. I like to help you listeners, and a lot of the content that I get to make these shows come from people just like you who want me to answer a specific question about a specific situation. Today, I'm going to dive right in. I have something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. It's something that might contradict a lot of what you hear other influencers or podcasters talk about. And I've probably said this in a different way before, but today I'm going to really dive into something that is paramount to your success in fitness or finance or whatever area you want to excel at. That's what this show is about. You can tie it to fitness, you can tie it to finance, you can tie it to relationships. At the core of it, it's about how to get to the next level. Before you can even want to get to the next level, you have to know that the next level exists. You guys do because you're listening to this show. It's all about improvement every single day. But in order to improve in your body, in order to improve in your finances, the message that we've heard over and over and over again is discipline. And what I'm going to tell you today is that your success is not going to be related to your discipline. Your success is going to be determined by your desire, your ability to tap into a burning desire. Because the thing that people have wrong, and the thing that if you've ever woke up and you're like, I just don't understand why I cannot be disciplined for more than 30 days or 60 days or half a year. At some point, my discipline falls apart. And then you start to think that John has more discipline than I do. You start to think that this Instagram influencer has more discipline than you do. And the message that's being shouted from coaches and influencers is that you're just not disciplined, and that discipline should be a core value in your life, and without it, you will fail. And so then you put that on yourself, and you start to think that you're broken. You start to think that it just isn't in the cards for you, that this fitness thing or this finance thing, that you're just not cut out for it because you don't have the discipline, and you should just be happy where you're at. And that's a really dangerous game to play. And it's a game that I won't call them bad coaches. It's a game that most coaches are going to coach. And the reason isn't because they're trying to mislead you. It isn't because they want you not to succeed. It's because they haven't truly understood how the mindset actually works and how to engineer success on demand. They don't know. And it looks something like this. Discipline in any area, it does take work, but the people who are succeeding at the level you want to succeed at, I almost guarantee you that their discipline in most of the things come really naturally and really easy to them. The reason is simple. The reason is because they have a burning desire to acquire or to chase whatever it is they're chasing, whether that be wealth or whether that be fitness. So to them, they want to talk about how disciplined they are and how disciplined you're not when they haven't realized that the reason they're disciplined is because it's fucking easy for them. They want the thing so badly, it makes their discipline easy. It makes it easy to do what they do on a daily basis because you are what you do. Your behavior is going to determine your result. So they think that if you're disciplined, that you do the behavior and you get the result, which is true, which is absolutely true. But what they're missing, and I'm saying this again, I'm trying to say it in 10,000 different ways in this podcast so you finally grasp it. Discipline is fucking easy when you have desire. It's easy. I work out 4 or 5 or 6 times a week on demand, without fail, whether I'm on vacation or whether I'm not. And that's just what I do. And it has zero to do with my discipline. I'm sorry to tell you that. I can tell you that you need to be disciplined. I can tell you that you need to work out 3 times a week or 4 times a week. But if you don't really desire the thing that you say you want, you're not going to do it. See, this can be all related back to why. I've done probably 3 episodes on this show that try to help you understand how important the why is. But actually, even though we're talking about the same thing today, this is going to be said in a different way. From the time I was 16 years old, when I went into the weight room at the very first time, I got embarrassed in front of all of my friends. You've heard this story. I was the weakest kid in the weight room. Whether that story is true or I created it in my mind, that moment took me on a quest to be strong and powerful. I had so much desire to go back into that weight room and show my friends that I was the alpha, that I was the strong one, that I was going to be the one that succeeded. That it drove me to do whatever it took, to do whatever in the world it took to get that result. You see, my desire was so strong, like an insatiable desire to succeed, that discipline had nothing to do with it. I wanted to do it. You see the difference? I wanted to do it. So what an outsider would say, or what one of these influencers say, that it all comes down to discipline. You have to eat this way. You have to work out this way. You have to do this over and over and over again. You have to be consistent. All of that is true. But what if you fucking want it so badly that you do it anyways, that it's not hard anymore? You see, when I work with clients, this is one of the things we go through. My whole program is not about meal plans and training. Because coaches who give out meal plans and training and they think that's the answer are missing the whole point. You can have a little bit better coach who then is going to be like, you know what? It's not actually about meal plans and training. It's about the behavior. So we have to behave differently if we want a different result. And then those coaches are going to hammer you on behavior. And those are the same coaches who, when you do something good for a little bit and then fall off, they're just going to say that you don't want it bad enough. They're just going to say that you need to be more disciplined. Because they don't know how to automate that desire, to automate that behavior. The thing that I do, and the thing that I'm most passionate about, is to dig into a person's mindset and teach them how to automate championship behavior, which is what I talked about on the last show. If you go back and listen to the last show, it might be 2 shows before, I can't remember. Automating championship behavior is the thing. And now I'm taking it back a step further. In order to automate this thing called championship behavior, you have to trigger motivation. You have to trigger desire. You have to get into a state that you want something so badly that the discipline it requires is natural. Because if you're not, you're playing the wrong fucking game. If you are battling your willpower and you're battling your discipline, You might win for 6 months, but inevitably that willpower will beat you down. Tapping into that desire is the key that's going to set you free. Because think about it. I share this with my clients all the time. You guys right now where you're at, if you close your eyes and think about a time when you were completely and totally motivated, when you were completely and totally motivated to get a result. Think about it in terms of fitness. I know you guys who are listening to the show you wouldn't be listening to if you didn't care about fitness in the first place. So I want you to think about a time when you were totally and completely motivated in terms of fitness. And if you can remember a specific time, it doesn't matter if I gave you a plate of your favorite fucking foods. I could put a plate of cookies in front of you. I could put a whole bag of Oreos in front of you. I could put the world's best cheeseburger in front of you. And when you were totally and completely motivated, you'd say, no thanks, John. No thanks. I have goals. I know what I want. And when you weren't motivated, if you can think about a time right before you binged out on something or right before that switch went off on your brain and you said, fuck it. I'm going to go for it tonight. I'm going to eat a whole pizza. Give me the cookies. I don't give a fuck. I've had a long, stressful day, or I've had a great week and I want to celebrate. The moment before you choose to do the thing that you know is ultimately going to take you farther away from your goal, you know that feeling and you know that switch that goes off. And then bam, you do the thing that you know is not going to get you the result that you want or that you say you want. And then you think that it's your discipline. But what it really was your emotional state. You see, the first example, when I asked you to think of a time when you were in a totally motivated state, you can say no. The second time, when you're in a totally unmotivated state, you can't make the right choice. You cannot make the right choice. It's unconscious. So the key to all of this is to learn how to automate that motivational state, to automate that emotional state that's going to make it automatic for you to get the outcome you want. Because if you do struggle right now, like most people do, and the people that I talk to on a daily basis, they're 50-50 guys. They're what I call 50-50 guys. Sometimes they're motivated, they can say no. Sometimes they're not motivated, they can't say no. They never know which person they're going to be. They can be good for 3 weeks, they can be good for 12 weeks, but inevitably, that other 50% is going to show up. And so they stay stuck. They stay stuck year after year after year. They can do good for a minute, then they go right back. The key that I teach in my program is how to be a 90-10 guy, how to be a fucking 95-5 guy. Nobody is 100-0. Maybe some of the best athletes of all time. Maybe guys like Tim Tebow, 100-0. But even then, if you're 95-5, if you're 90-10, and you know how to automate that discipline so that it's easy and effortless, you no longer have to rely on it. You no longer have to break down your willpower week after week after week. The key is trading that discipline in for desire. Trading that discipline in for desire. And how do you do that? You have to have a compelling reason for wanting something. If you just look at me and say, John, you know what? I don't know why I can't work out, man. Like I go 2 times a week and then it falls off and then these priorities happen. I really want to look like you, John, but I just don't know. And I say, dude, what do you really want, man? What do you really want? And you're like, well, I just want to be healthy for my kids. And you say it like that. I already know you have a problem, man. I already know. Because that doesn't get me to move. That doesn't even get you to move. If I ask myself, John, why do you do this, man? Why do you do this? Well, I tie excellence in my life I tie high standards to this image of me. I tie this desire to wanting to know the person that I was meant to be, and that motherfucking person isn't 50 pounds overweight. I have this image of the best fucking person, husband, father, coach I can be. And I have this standard, and this desire pulls me. It pulls me in so that I work out 3 times a week, 4 times a week, 5 times a week. I do whatever it takes, and it feels effortless. Yes, I put effort into the gym, but I'm not battling discipline. I'm not battling discipline. If I make bad decisions, it comes down to one thing. I'm in an unmotivated state. So how do I automate that motivation? How do I automate that motivation so that I make the best choices without having to think about it? It starts with desire. It starts with desire. You see, you have to do the work. Just trying to start a workout plan and not knowing really all of this stuff is going to lead you down a path where you might get results. Maybe it sticks, maybe it doesn't, because you guys all know that you can go to the gym and see some muscle bro that is on steroids and carrying a milk jug of water, and he's in the gym 2 hours a day. 2 hours a day, and he gets spray tanned up and all this stuff. And you think like, well, dude is disciplined. Look at him. He's spending 2 hours a day in the gym. Who knows what the other part of his life looks like? But he does that. It's not his discipline. And then they're shouting from the rooftops and making videos on fucking Instagram and telling everyone how fucking dedicated they are. And it's not that. Maybe they were so insecure that they desire something so much that they just had something in their life that they just want to stack this armor onto them. And they'll do whatever it takes, whether that takes 3 hours a day in the gym or 4 or 2. It doesn't matter. That desire for them is so strong, they'll do whatever. Has nothing to do with discipline. Their desire for that thing is causing their daily behaviors. I like balance. I'm not trying to win bodybuilding shows. Again, I told you what I want. I want this excellence that includes fitness but isn't limited to it. The people that come through my program want fitness, they want finance, they want freedom. So we take that and we create a vision that compels them to fucking move. That doesn't require discipline anymore. They learn how to tap into their desire and not be 50-50 guy, to be a 90-10, to be a 95-5, to chase excellence because they desire it. I hope today that a light bulb just went off for you and you're like, oh my God, that's why I struggled. That's why I've struggled for the past 10 years, because I've been battling my discipline, and that's not the problem. If you understand this episode, you will truly never struggle for the rest of your life.
Thank you so much for joining us for another amazing episode of The Show with John Madsen. The greatest compliment that you could give us is liking, loving, and sharing this episode with all of your friends. So please go to iTunes, leave us a 5-star rating and review, and then share it online with everyone that you know. Make sure to tag John as well. He loves to hear from listeners of the show. The links for all of his socials and iTunes are in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to engage John for anything related to his coaching, consulting, or programs, please visit johnmadsen.com for everything you'd need to know on how to engage with John offline. And lastly, thank you for your time, your attention, and your consideration. This is The Show.